The law of cosines. Using the law of cosines with triangles, students will be able to set up the law of cosines equation, use the law of cosines to find a missing angle measurement or side measurement, and solve real-life problems utilizing the law of cosines. I was on such a roll before with the law of sines. Decided to make this new video. The only problem is Reagan left to go play with her dolls with her sister. She may be back, may not, but you got me, that's all that matters. Alright, so what I want you guys to do is start by doing the Canvas 2 now, 8.4. This is a typical equation. Make sure, once again, if you are starting fresh with your computer, you put your calculator in degrees. Every time, degrees, degrees, degrees. So, do the problem. You should be done. Here we go. Hypotenuse, adjacent. Perfect. Cosine, angle equals adjacent over hypotenuse. Cosine 49 equals 22 over x. Since the x is on bottom in the denominator, what you do is you divide that number by your trig function. Type it in your calculator, you get 33.5. Right here, we're looking for the angle. We got hypotenuse again and opposite side, sine. So it's sine x equals 13 over 18. Since you're looking for the angle, you'd use the -1, sine -1 of 13 over 18. And you get your answer, which is 46.2. Awesome. Now let's get into our actual lesson. Law of cosines. Very similar to law of sines. It's just a little more complex equation. So we're going to find the blank of the third side of a triangle. Yell out your answer. Length of the third side of the equation. So when the other two side lengths, when I point, you just yell it out. And the opposite angle are known. Very good. So find the length of the third side. So you got two side lengths and an angle. You find the third side length. Find an angle of the triangle when all three side lengths are known. Very good. So, pretty much, triangle ABC has lengths of A, B, and C. Why don't you label where A, B, and C are? It's the same place they were with the sine law, with the law of sines. So, little a, opposite of A. Little b, opposite of B. Little c, opposite of C. So, 3 rules. Rule number 1. A squared equals B squared plus C squared minus 2BC cos A. So, notice whatever you're squaring in front and is by itself is what is in the other one. Alright? Next. B squared equals A squared plus C squared minus 2 AC cosine B. Notice. Alright, and the last one obviously is, actually try to write it out yourself. See if you can figure it out based on these two. Let's see if you got it. C squared equals A squared plus B squared minus 2AB cosine C. All the lowercase letters are side lengths, and these are your 3 angle lengths. Alright? So you use based on what angle you have and side lengths. So let's go try an example together, and then I'll let you try a couple on your own. In this triangle, A is 11 centimeters, so let's label that. B is 17, C is 19. You have to label them based on the angles. So, A across from A, right? B is across from B, C is across from C. So, across from A is 11, across from B is 17, and across from C is 19. We're trying to find angle C. So, you pick which one of the 3 laws you use. Since you're looking for angle C, it has to be the one with the cosine C here. So that one starts with a C squared. C squared is A squared plus B squared minus 2AB cosine C. Now, I want you guys to substitute in C, B, and A in for those C, B's, and A's. Right here. You got it. I'm waiting on you. All right, you should be done. 19, 11, 17, 2AB, 11, B, 17, and we don't know what C is, so we just leave it as a big C. Now, calculator work. 19 squared, 361. 11 squared, 121. 17 squared, 289. Minus 2 times 11 times 17 is, let me think in my head, 374. Cosine C. All right, now it just becomes algebra, and you got to be very careful. So you use PEMDAS, parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. So all we have here is some addition. Combine those terms, 410. Now, in order to solve for C, you have to get this by itself, so you have to subtract 410 from both sides, and you get negative 51. 361 minus 410 is negative 51. 410 minus 410 is 0. Now, in order to get to cosine C by itself, we take this number and we have to divide both sides by negative 374. And you get 51 over 374. In order to solve for C, we have to take the inverse. So, cosine negative 1, second cosine, 51 divided by 374. Close your parentheses and voila, 82.2 degrees. Now, nothing is drawn to scale, so it doesn't matter what the picture looks like and the angle is. Ready to try one on your own? Awesome. So problem 2, you're going to find all 3 angles based on those 3 sides. So, let's get to it. First, what I want you guys to do is use this equation. So, type this stuff in this equation and solve it on your own. All right? You can pause and unpause it as you see fit. I'm just going to go right through it. A is across from A, so 4 squared, 6 squared plus 5 squared minus 2BC cos A. 16, 36 plus 25 minus 12 times 5 is 60 cos A. Add the 2 numbers. You get 61. Subtract 61 from both sides. So 16 minus 61 gives you negative 45. Divide both sides by negative 60. Negative divided by negative, this just becomes positive. If you want to make this 3/4 as well, if you want to make it 0.75, you can always make it a decimal, it doesn't matter. Inverse of cosine is 41.41 degrees. All right, easy as can be. Ready? Do that one on your own. All right, hopefully it's done. 6 squared, 4 squared, 5 squared, 2, 4, 5. 36 equals 16 and 25. You're just squaring them. Add these numbers together. You get 41. 36 minus 41 is negative 5. Divide by negative 40. 2 negatives equal a positive. Inverse, and you get 82.82. All right? Now, watch this. How can we find C? We can do the whole thing again, or we know that 3 angles add up to 180 because of the triangle sum theorem. So A plus B plus whatever C is equals 180. Right? Add them together. Subtract them from 180. And then you got your C. Alright? So hopefully you guys are doing well with this. Now why don't you attempt problem number 3. You're finding the 3 angles. You're just doing the same exact thing we did. Alright, hopefully you're done with problem 3. A squared equals B squared plus C squared minus 2BC. Cosine A. Square, square, square. Multiply these 3. Cos A. Combine these 2 terms together. This plus this equals that. Subtract that from both sides. Divide both sides by that. And inverse. Second cosine this stuff. And you get as an answer 58.1. Next one. Find B. B squared equals A squared plus C squared minus 2AC. Cosine A. Square, square, square. Multiply those 3. Add these 2 together. Subtract 785 from both sides and you get negative 56. Divide both sides by negative 736. And inverse it. 85.6. Now, how do you find C? You could do the same thing again, or you can triangle sum theorem. Add them to be 180. Boom, boom, boom. 180 minus that, you get 36.3. All right, how we doing? Good? Nice, easy Friday, isn't it? I know you guys missed school, missed class, but we'll get back soon enough. So, problem number 4. Find B. why don't you guys do that one? Got it? Well, let's see. You're given an angle now, and you have to find the side. Ooh, tricky. So, we have to use the one with B, cosine B, right? Because that's the angle we have. So we're going to use B squared equals A squared plus C squared minus 2AC cosine B. So let's fill this in. Do we have B? No. But we have A squared. We have C squared minus 2AC cosine. And we have the angle. Very good. Square, square. Multiply this all through. 2 times 34 times 43 times cosine 88. And that gives you a number. Now what you can do to find B squared is you can actually add these two and subtract this. All three of them add together. It's easy. B squared equals that. So how do you solve for B? Opposite of squaring something is taking the square root. Second x squared gives you the square root of this number. 55.7. There's your answer. Doing good. Find that. Go. You got it. Here we go. Once again, you're given angle B, which happens to be 88 again. I guess you got lazy making these examples. B squared, which is 16 squared. But now what you're missing is you're missing A. Uh-oh. It's A squared plus 9 squared minus 2A9 cosine 88. So, I can square this and square this. Minus 2 times 9 times cos 88 I can keep, but I have to keep the A. So you get 256 A squared plus 81 minus 0.63 A. Oh no. What to do? You guys remember? Subtract 256 from both sides. Yes, much difficult than anything I'll give you, but when to show you, you could use your... Anyone remember? This little guy? Come on. You remember this from algebra, the quadratic equation. All right? Now, will I test you on this? Of course not, but it's always good to see what the other. And I know Bella really likes this question right here. So you got negative B. This is your B right here. So two negatives is a positive, plus or minus square root, negative B squared. Anytime you square a negative, put it in parentheses in the calculator because this number becomes positive. Minus 4 times A, since there's nothing in front of it, that's a 1. And C over 2 times A. You get 0.63 plus or minus 26.5 divided by 2. So 0.65 plus 26.5 divided by 2 is 13.6. 0.63 minus 26.5 divided by 2 is negative 12.9. One of these is good, one of these is bad. Guess which one? Well, that's the good one, and that's the bad one. Now, why is that the good one? Because you can't have a negative side. All right? That's it. And I believe A is 13.6. All right? Are we good? If you can't remember how to do this, you can always look up quadratic equation. You want to help me with the last problem? No? All right.
I got too much on my hands.
Well, yeah. All right. If a zoo is 6 blocks from the school, and the movie theater is 8 blocks from the school, and the rooms form, hey, you're in the middle of my thing, and 86 degrees at the school, 86 degree angle. What is the distance between the zoo and the movie theater? Try to set it up on your own. All right, now let's see. Zoo, 6 blocks from the school. So let's fill in this equation based on this. So we got 6 blocks from the school. Movie theater is 8 blocks from the school. All right. The roads form an 86 degree angle. What's the distance between the zoo and the movie theater? Now we're trying to find that. So we got side, side, angle, missing side. We're going to use that as our A. So this would be cosine A. So we're going to use the equation A squared equals B squared plus C squared minus 2 BC over cosine A. So A we don't know. A squared equals B squared plus C squared minus 2 BC cosine 86. 36, 64, 6.7. All right. 100 minus 6.7 is 93.3. Square root, 9.7 blocks. Does that make sense? It does. It's a little bit longer than this. It looks a little longer. And it makes it 86. So it's across from the biggest angle. And the side across from the biggest angle also should be the longest. Any questions? I hope not, because you guys are doing wonderful. All right, so finish up with problems 7 and 8, and then I will go over them. And here we go. Opposite. Here we go. Measure of angle A. So, this is a little tricky because the colors are mixed up on this one. So, you got 61 equals 4. Actually, this is finding angle B. I messed this up. I didn't really check this one. All right, all cosine. So this right here should be my A. I just put my letters in the wrong place. All right, 3721. You know what? I'm going to fix this real quick and not even change my lesson. In order for this problem to work, I don't want to confuse you guys. Sometimes lessons aren't exactly perfect, but we can make them perfect. Alright, I just mixed my A and my B up when I made this. So, you had a little break there. You could have got some water. Had some fun. So, oh, look at that. It was perfect the whole time. I could cut that out, but it'll take too long. Alright, so 61 squared, because it's opposite the A, equals B squared plus C squared minus 2BC cosine A. Square, 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 multiply, and keep the cosine A. Combine like terms. Subtract this from this, so 3721 minus 4,516. Divide by whatever is next to your trig function. And then you do the inverse, second cosine, that number, and you get 79.4. And the last one you're finding is side length. Remember, little letter side, big letter A. So, C squared is A squared plus B squared minus 2AB. A squared, B squared, 2AB, cosine 86. Square, square, multiply them all together. Add and subtract. And you take the square root, second x squared, 94.8. All right. If you have any questions, once again, email me. I'll be around all day, all week, all weekend, all night, all the times. I'll probably get back to you as quick as possible. And good luck. And hope everyone's being safe and healthy. Bye.